Hello, I'm Milton Kane from the Christians for Community. There's been a lot of speculation in the media and in the Parliament, particularly the federal Parliament, about the need for a voice, an Indigenous voice to be embedded into the Constitution of Australia. As I reflect upon this, I think about what does that mean? What it means is the Indigenous people need to have somebody speak on their behalf in the Parliament. Then I have a think, haven't we got a whole bunch of people in the lower house called the House of Representatives in the federal Parliament? Are not these people paid to do a job of representing the people in their electorate? Do not the Indigenous people live within at least one of the electorates, of which there is a member in the federal Parliament? Should not these members be raising those issues in the federal Parliament? Is that not what they are paid to do? Their title is a member of the House of Representatives. It seems to me that constitutionally their job is pure and simple. They are to represent the people of their electorate, irrespective of the view that their people of the electorate may hold. They may not necessarily vote in favour of some of the positions that the people will hold. Just the same as you cannot be voting in favour of a minority group at the same time as voting in a majority group if in fact their positions are opposite. But both positions ought to be presented to the Parliament so that the people in the Parliament can get the full picture of the people of the electorate. A representative group of people, referred to as the voice, as it will apparently be if it's adopted by the Constitution, are supposed to be able to do a better job than the local representatives. If that be the case, then perhaps the local representatives need to resign. Let's have a look at how the parliamentary system works. We have what is called a representative democracy. That is, the people of Australia are given the opportunity to elect their Member of Parliament. Their Member of Parliament, whilst maybe a member of a political party, is to, without fear or favour, represent the views of the people of the electorate, so that the people of the electorate do not have to go down to Canberra every time Parliament sits and express their view. It needs to be expressed through their local member. If their local member is unable, unwilling, or incapable of being able to represent the views of each and every member of their electorate, then those members ought to resign. I put it to our Prime Minister, Mr. Albanese, and his Cabinet, and his members of Parliament, that if they believe the local representatives are unable, unwilling or incapable of representing the needs of the Indigenous people in this country, then those members of Parliament, including the Prime Minister and his ministers, ought to resign forthwith. You are paid to do a job primarily to represent all, not some, but all of the people of your electorate. How does that work in practice? A local member discovers that there are people in his electorate who actually believe in point A. So he should raise in the Parliament the views of point A and express that he has a number of people who support that view. However, he personally may support a position called point B. And he may also explain, but however, the reason I'm going to support point B is because of the following reasons. But both point A and point B have been represented in the Parliament. There will be some other members who may take up the point of point A and actually decide to enlarge upon it, raise concerns about it, and in fact perhaps it is possible that point A may win the day. The job of the person who is voted into the Parliament is not ever to represent their political party. We do know that a member of the Parliament who has been elected via a political party will have a tendency towards a certain political position. But anybody who understands the political parties, particularly those ones with freedom for people to be able to vote, you will find that within all of these parties that support the view of the right of a person to express their view, you will find all of those parties there will be many ranges of views by their members. However, some of our political parties want the members of a parliament who are elected to only represent a single view, and that is the view expressed by the political party. And if that be the case, ought they not be paid by their political party and not by the people, the taxpayers, the people of their electorate? Because if they do not represent you, what right have they got to require you to pay for them to be there? Your tax dollars says that the local representative needs to represent you. Okay, when it comes to the upper house, for example, in the Senate, in the federal parliament, every senator needs to represent his or her state to the best of their ability. Obviously, there are two territories and they need to represent the territories as well. When we consider all of that, then we can find these people who are party partisan are well and truly probably not the right people to be in the Parliament. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a person being associated with a political party, indicating their particular bias towards the views that they may vote for. But they cannot and should not fail to represent even those people who have diametrically opposed views to theirs. For example, if I happen to be elected, and I'm putting my hand up to be elected in the March 2023 state elections in New South Wales, if I am elected as a Christian spokesman, I will have to represent the views of all people, even and including the people who have no religion whatsoever. I will have to present the views of those people who happen to hold a different religion. And when we take that into consideration, then we will find that we absolutely do not need a voice. What the Prime Minister should be saying to his members of Parliament: make sure that you full and truly represent every voice, every person in your electorate. And if you do that, we will not need to have an additional level of government or advice to government. It's very important that we recognise this. And it's very important that you, the people, understand that if your representative is only representing the party position, they well and truly may not be doing the job to which they have been appointed. That is, to represent your voice, to represent your views, your issues, your concerns. Perhaps that's where we've gone wrong. We've stabilised into a cheer squad. The cheer squad of the Labor Party, the Liberal Party, the Greens, and others. Perhaps it's about time We demanded of our members of Parliament that they well and truly do the job to which they were appointed. That is, to actually vote in favour and to express the view in favour of the views of the people of their electorate. There will be times they will have to choose between one voice and another, but they ought to have well-established reasons why, and they ought to seriously consider the view that they're not representing in the vote. But it ought to be tabled in the Parliament, those concerns, aspirations of all the people in their electorate, whether they be Indigenous, whether they be the people from Europe, our Europeans in this country, whether it be the Asians in this country, whether it be people from Africa, even from the Muslim countries. Every one of those has a right to have their view expressed in the Parliament. Even if the local member does not support that position personally, he needs to have a balanced approach to make sure that he well and truly represents everyone. That's what he's paid to do. That's what we need to demand of him. I'm Milton Kane, for Christians, for the community. Thank you.